Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome to Avorion. Quite a few of you have asked me to do a playthrough on this, and while I am a bit hesitant, I'm going to do so anyway, because I really enjoy the game. And I think that this is one of those games that you can just have pretty long videos on, that maybe are running in the background while you're doing something else. I, for one, usually when I'm gaming, have something on in the background. It might be a podcast, it might be Netflix, it might be a stream that I'm not even actively watching, I'm just sort of listening to it. I find it relaxing, and especially in these days of social isolation, just having some sort of, well, let's say weird social interaction where you just listen and have the idea that you're not quite alone, that might help you. And then again, some of you have told me that I have a very soothing voice, very calming voice, and maybe that's going to be helpful as well in these times. So this playthrough of Avorion will not be the most action-packed one. I'll try to make it as interesting as I can, but parts of this will of course just be slaving away. And I won't be recording all of it, or rather I won't be uploading all of it, so I might do some cuts and edits here and there. But beyond that, we're just going to get started with Avorion. So, single player game. Let's create a new game, and it's not going to be creative mode. I'm going to have full collision damage, I'm going to have normal difficulty, and I'm going to call this... let's say the seed for this map is going to be the YouTube, and the name is going to be the relaxed playthrough. Relaxed playthrough. There we go. All right. Now, for those of you who don't know what Avorion is, the easiest way to describe it, without really doing it justice, that is sort of what it comes down to, with a touch of X3 blended in. X3 Albion Prelude, X3 Turn Conflict, those were games that I played a lot back in the day. Much those games were appealing to me. Right, Avorion, let's get going. Now, first order of business is going to be to mine some asteroids, because I want to build a ship. What I have over here is my little mining drone. Whenever your ship gets destroyed, or whenever you want to be building something new, you're always going to end up with this mining drone. The mining drone is not very quick, it's not very powerful, it doesn't really have any sort of offensive firepower. It only breaks up asteroids. That's all it does, and it's all that it's supposed to do. Now the plan right now is to just get some of these asteroids mined, so I can get a bit of iron going, and then start building my ship. Which in the first bits of the journey is going to be a mining ship, so that I can then keep building my ship out further and further and further. And maybe also get some stuff, or let's say some ores that I can actually sell off. It's going to take me 500 iron to build my own ship. I currently have 680. Let's go for this rock next. You can recognize these rocks as being different. They have this glowy thing, whereas this rock, for example, has a really dark, just plain rock appearance. So this is going to be iron, and this is what I want to mine more of. I think that after I mine this one, I might just have enough to get my first little craft going. Let's clear this part out. By the way, I don't expect this series to be hugely popular. That's not really the aim or design of it. I play this because I enjoy it, and I hope that it's going to be something that you can listen to in the background. Maybe even something that you can fall asleep to. I know that sounds weird for a gaming video, but I have had plenty of comments referring to people watching my content and saying, yeah, I always listen to that when I fall asleep. So it's a weird sort of a compliment, I suppose. And I think that Avorion is just the kind of game that would allow you to fall asleep. Now, the next order of business is to find titanium. They can be identified by rocks which have a slightly different hue to them. Maybe this is one over here. 11.1 clicks out. For those of you who are new to Avorion, it's a game where you're pretty much playing Minecraft in space with a blend of the X3 games by Egosoft. It's a really relaxing game. Well, mostly. It depends on how much you fight, for example. You determine what you want to do, you determine how you want to do it, and you determine what your attack or what your way to play the game is. Sandbox. A bit closer. Okay, this is not titanium, this is iron again. Oh well, at least I can build my own little ship a little bigger then. And when I say a little bigger, I really mean a little bigger, because iron is, well, it's just the starting material. But it's actually really quite terrible to build your ship out of iron. Initially you don't have a choice, but later on when you do get better materials, it's a terrible material. Because it's just heavy. The only thing that I still build out of iron, and that's mostly because I don't have any other construction means to do it, is an inertial dampener. And that's something that's going to allow you to slow down. Alright, time to found our first craft. This is going to be the Venture. 500 iron, I have 2367. Let's get going. Right, this is the construction direction of your ship, so this is the way that is going to point forward. What I'll need on the ship really is very little. I'm going to need an iron engine. I'm going to need no cargo bay yet. I just want to be mining. We need gyro arrays. I'm going to need a couple of thrusters, directional thrusters probably to slow me down. And maybe an inertial dampener to help slow me down. Gyros to spin the ship around. It is stuff like that that I need. Right, let's swap this thing out for a cargo bay. And then go for something slightly larger for a cargo base, and I can still trade. Now this is a playthrough, this is not a tutorial series. For that I have different videos. So if you're looking for a tutorial style of series, then be sure to check out my other vids, which do have more of an instructional nature to them. Now, as you might know from space, there is really no benefit to having a craft that is aerodynamic. And this is something that's always quite amusing when you're watching, well, pretty much any kind of sci-fi. How do they build their ships? I like my ships to be sort of sleek, but I know that it offers me absolutely no advantage. It is just aesthetics, and that's all that it is. So don't take this thing too seriously, because it's not designed to be. I'm gonna go for a pretty sharp nose here. And again, this offers me absolutely nothing. But I have seen some beautiful, beautiful craft on the workshop. Stuff that really makes you go, oh, holy shit, how the hell did they do that? I have a lot to learn about this game still. I'm just scratching the surface. Right, let's set up the mining lasers. 2 mining turrets. Now, I still don't have anything what I need. I only have a cargo bay and a bunch of just, well, not even iron armor blocks, but just iron blocks. So now let's set up a couple of crew quarters here. I'm going to fuse those together. The other one has automatically cloned that. Behind that, I want to have my iron engines. Actually, no, I'm going to go for something slightly different. I want to have thrusters. But first, a gyro array. This is going to allow the ship to roll. Then I'm going to build it like that. So that allows the ship to pitch. And, oh, it actually does have quite a lot of power. Alright, so the only thing I still need is yaw. And if I rotate it a bit more... There we go. Now I can move in all different axes. The only thing that I cannot do yet is move left and right. So let's set up the ship so it can also do that. A bit smaller. And then fuse those together. Alright, so now I can move left and right. Next up, a bit of blank hull. Let's make that a bit longer. And then I want a couple of engines. I'm going to try and make this look good, but again, I am not very good at designing ships. I still have so much to learn about making stuff look good. So maybe throughout the series I can also pay more attention to that. I'm going to have one like this. One like that. Iron engine. Let's also enable the Y copy. Now back to the iron blocks. And now the big question is, how do I make this thing look a little sleeker? That's usually where I run into trouble. How do I make this look sleeker? Because it always ends up looking a bit like this, which is not really what I'm going for. Also, I'm running out of iron pretty quick. Now, I do have propulsion, but I do not have a way to slow down yet. So let's add a small inertia dampener. Emphasis small, because I'm really running out of iron very quick. Very, very quick, in fact. I don't have enough iron for this. Alright, directional thruster it is then. Thanks to the way that Avorion is set up, you can just have these in the middle of your ship. And this will allow you to slow down as well. Despite the fact that the whole thing is covered up. Alright, so this is the new craft. Unfortunately, I don't have any miners yet, so I'm going to have to use my existing crew in that role. Auto assign. There we go, we got one mechanic, 4 miners and 3 crewmen. And now I can go and mine these things a bit faster. One thing I still have to, really pay attention to is that this thing doesn't slow down very well. And that it doesn't move up and down. So that's going to be the next bit of upgrading that I do. Once that I get a bit more metal mined, or a bit more iron mined from this asteroid here. Now, I gotta be honest, I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do this series. I am really quite literally making stuff up as I go along. So there could be more cuts, there could be less cuts. I'll try to also listen to you guys, what you want me to do, what you want me to adjust in the way that I'm presenting this game to you. And again, I hope that it's going to be a sort of fun and relaxing playthrough of this game. Alright, I'm going to have to turn around now. My bigger thrusters are in the stern, pointing forward. And I'd really try not to slam into this rock here. There we go, we're already up to 400 iron again. Mining is a hell of a lot faster now that I don't use the simple mining drone, but actually a better mining ship. A bit more. $600 iron. That's excellent, because that means that I can set up an inertial dampener. Okay, that's enough of that rock. Now, let's get rid of this thruster and replace that with an inertia dampener. I still need a bunch more. Can I make that smaller? Yeah. There we go. Now it slows down at 34 meters per second instead of the 18 that it was. So now if I speed up, I'm going to lose speed very, very quickly, but I still cannot strafe. That is something that I want to set up here, actually. I'm going to remove the crew quarters for now. Set up directional thrusters and point those sideways. One set here, and one set not too wide. There. Fuse together. Does mean that my crew quarters are going to have to come somewhere else. Let's see, where is my triangle corner? Here. Set up a slot. Whoa, that's a bit of a large block. Let's make it a bit wider. No, not like that. Here. Now I can have my crew quarters up here. And I can extend that out. This is a bit too much crew capacity, I think. But more focused on future growth. Yeah, I can now hold 15 crew members. Alright, and then make this look a little better. Just make it wider, or longer rather. There. We're actually starting to resemble a ship. Alright, so now I can move sideways as well. I can move up and down. That is if I... No, I didn't set up an up and down thruster yet, did I? Okay, let's fix that. Iron directional thruster. And that should be up, or, well, over there, but it doesn't need to be that big. I kind of would like that to squeeze in here and not protrude at the rear. There. So now I can move up and down. Yep, and I can move sideways. That's going to make mining quite a bit easier. And I can also roll, of course. This is something else that I really love about Avorion, how quickly you can throw together a ship. Making it look pretty is a whole different issue. But just throwing the ship together is something I also immensely enjoy in this game. Unfortunately, it is a really big part of this game. Get all of this stuff into my ship. Or actually, no, that's not technically true. There are two ways to mine iron and other resources in this game. The one that I'm doing right now is just directly mining it, and it's not very efficient. Because what happens is that the iron gets sort of refined by the mining lasers themselves. So if you look at my ship's lasers, you can see what happens. These have an efficiency of 13.5, and that is percent. So that means that these are really not that effective at stripping down an asteroid for parts. Because the problem is that you're losing that other 86.5%. So you're really wasting a lot of the iron, or a lot of the asteroid. The other way of going about this is to use a mining R laser, as they're called. And what those things allow you to do is mine the stuff, and it then gets put into your cargo bay. From your cargo bay, you can then bring the stuff over to a resource depot, which then refines those raw ores, as they're called, down into actual usable ores. Alright, with a small ship, let's see if there's anything I can do here. No, I don't think piracy is the best option here. Is the equipment dock anything you could do? They want 10 drones for 175,000. I only have 5. So I'll never be able to afford that. Repair dock. You need oxygen. I cannot buy that either. Shipyard. Energy tubes. That's not really that interesting. However, I could have a look at the equipment dock and see what it has for sale. Because an upgrade to, for example, a mining system would really help. It would light up where the mines are, where the asteroids are. And here's a double titanium mining turret. The way the game works is that a mining turret like this has a type of material that it's built from, in this case titanium. Which means that over here I can mine titanium and iron and neonite. These things go all the tiers below them, so iron, and one tier above them, which means neonite. But it's 18,000 to buy that. I also have an iron mining turret over here, which has a DPS of 3.7 as compared to my 1.7. So that's a hell of a lot more damage to an asteroid. Still, I don't really want to make this ship into a pure miner. I would ideally turn this ship into a small combat craft. In order to make that viable, though, I'm first going to have to add a couple more parts. And those are, if I have them in this tier... No, I don't have the integrity field generator in iron. Right, that means I'd have to find titanium. There's another rich iron or asteroid belt over here. Let's check it out. Titanium has a sort of whitish, bluish glow to it. I'm not generating enough energy. That's another reason why I would need titanium. Just to be able to get another power generator going, which is something that you cannot do with iron. So I'm just bound to how much power I can generate. Speaking of power, over here in these bars, this is the energy usage of my ship currently. This is my battery capacity. Then I have shields, which I don't have. And finally, I have a hull. And the hull is currently at 100%. Unfortunately, shields are not available until the trinium tier. Or neonite even? What was it? Let's see. Shield generator. Neonite. So I have to go up 2 tiers of materials in order to get to that. So that's going to be a while. It's going to take me a bit of time. Meanwhile, let's mine this rock some more. I know it's not titanium, it is iron. But I can sell off my iron that I don't need. Make a bit of extra cash. And with that cash, slowly upgrade your ship. Unfortunately, iron really doesn't pay very well. Once I have this rock mine, I can show you how much iron I actually get. And how much I actually get for my iron, which is really, really very little. Now my objective at the moment is to build a ship that's capable of going into combat. And that's going to require at least titanium. Because titanium allows you to build a pretty light ship. In the sense that it doesn't weigh very much. And that's very handy if you want to be doing advanced combat maneuvers. I don't have shields, which makes conflict quite dangerous. Because all the damage will be directly to my craft. So that is risky. Alright, and I have 1546 iron. If I go to the resource depot and talk to them and sell them my iron, they're selling it for 4.2. So times 1500 I can make 6,000 here. That is really not very much. I can also buy iron over there if I want to. But that's not really a priority right now. Also, the sector that I started in is really quite bad, with just an ore mine, a repair dock, a resource depot, an equipment dock, and a shipyard. Normally there's a bit more to do. A few more constructions, a few more facilities, maybe get some trade going. But there's just very little in this sector. Another way that I could play this game, by the way, is having automated ships to some extent. I could have one ship that I manually command, which will do the fighting. And then I can have another ship, for example this one, which is capable of going out on its own and taking down iron mines, or taking down iron asteroids. So that would allow me to focus on the conflict, which is what I want to be doing a bit more of, and allow my automated craft, which has a captain, comes at the low price of 15,000, to automatically mine. So that guy could fly around this system autonomously and just mine all the iron that I can then use in my other craft. Oh, hold up. Is that titanium? No, it's more iron. Alright, let's see what I can find if I use the map. This is generally a far faster way of finding titanium. Here. That's titanium. 10 clicks out. I can do a bit of a drive-by mine on this one. Again, it is iron, it is a resource, and I can sell it to then upgrade the ship. In case you don't have Avorion yet and you want to play it yourself, I'll put the link down below in the description. It's a link to Humble Bundle, which is a way that helps me with the channel, because Humble Bundle gives me a small percentage. So if you don't have the game yet, and if you do want to get the game, then please consider buying it through that link, because it really helps me out personally. This is a tough rock over here. Must be a pretty high value rock as well. There we go, now we got 2500 iron. 2600. The sides are usually not that strong. Now the damage numbers, try to remember these. I'm doing 138 every, let's say every time I hit this asteroid. It's really not that much. In one of my other, or let's say my main playthrough of this game, I have a mining laser that does I think 8,000 every time it hits an asteroid. So that's mounted on a ship that I have running around with a captain, and I just tell it to go around and mine stuff. And it does that to great success. I left it alone for just a couple seconds while I was, actually a couple minutes, not a couple seconds, while I was going to make a cup of coffee. And the ship, when I looked at it, had mined thousands and thousands and thousands of tons of ore. So I was very surprised at how much it could actually bring me very quickly. Alright, there we go. Now, unfortunately, I don't have enough power to really use my boost, which is a faster way to travel. So I'm just going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. Hold on. Here's titanium as well. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down. Try not to crash into it. Very good. Titanium. Titanium allows you to build something that I haven't built yet with iron, which is a generator. The generator gives you more power, and that recharges your batteries quicker, if you even get to the point where you need your batteries. And that allows me to get a ship which is definitely more powerful. This rock looks quite promising. So let's get to mining on this one, and then see if I can get a generator built. Now, what my ultimate goal is with this playthrough, I don't really have a plan yet. It could be to go for a big empire. It could be to just build a big warship. Probably a bit of both. And depending on how well it's going to go, how long I remain interested in the game, and how well it is being received by you guys, it's going to continue for quite a while. Because this is a game that you can keep playing for a long, long time, depending on, again, what your own personal goals are. That's also kind of the danger with this game. A sandbox game is where you set your own goals. But what do you do when you actually reach that goal? Because that's, at some point, most likely going to happen. What do you do then? I found that if I don't really have a, let's say, a next step, a next goal, that I don't really know what to do. And that sometimes puts me off from playing the game more. Because I go, yep, goal achieved. Okay, now what? What do I do next? And I don't have a plan. And when I don't have a plan, I just put the game down and I don't touch it for a long time. Which is a bit of a waste, of course. Because you have put in all that effort to achieve whatever goal you want. Let's say you build a big carrier. Okay, now you have a big carrier. Okay, now actually use it. Use that aircraft carrier. Use those fighters to go either mine or harvest stuff from wounded ships. Attack enemy ships. Whatever it is. Alright, I now have a bit of titanium. 967. Time to get a titanium generator. Because that's going to allow me to get a lot more power. I unfortunately might have a bottleneck in the sense of amount of energy. No, sorry, money that I have. Which is really not that much. Alright, on the bottom right hand side you can see that I require 490 megawatts of power and I generate 500. If I add this one, the generator, I am now generating 747 megawatts of power, and I only need 490, so I'm definitely going to be generating a bit more than what I need, but that's actually quite good. Let's see, I need to make this thing a little shorter. Just shrink that down a bit. Yeah, to there. And I might make these corners a little less sharp. Something else I want to have on this ship, and I'm going to once again relocate the crew quarters, because I do want to try and keep the crew quarters up so that people can actually look outside. It is absolutely not necessary, but it's more something that I think makes ships look very good. What I just installed is a titanium integrity field generator. This means that if I run into something, it's not likely to snap off. Whereas if I were to damage a part of the ship now, I would definitely notice that. Because the part would quite literally just come off the ship. Let's put the crew quarters here for now. Is that enough? Yeah, it's still 8 out of 13. And then see if I can fit that here. No, not too big. There. Select all of those. And fuse them into one big crew quarters. What are these again? Yeah, they are crew quarters. They refuse to be fused into one section though. Hold on, let's redo this. Oh, I just deleted one block too many. Those were the directional thrusters. Where am I going to put my crew quarters now? I'm just out here on the sides. Like that. And then adjust this iron edge, potentially. Yeah, no, that doesn't look good. Looking good, again, not a priority, but it's something that I try to do. Because I'm trying to train myself to building prettier ships. I now only have 11 slots for my crew. That's really very little. What I could do instead is just make this upwards curve a little sharper. Iron blank hull, like that. But then make it a bit more like that. That gives me more room. And that allows me to also put in the crew quarters. It's still 2 blocks. There we go. Alright, back to crew quarters. I'm going to pull these up out of titanium, because it is a lighter material to use. Now we're up to 12. Oh, that's still very, very little. Let's not completely finish off the ship yet. I want to go for the iron sides here. Rotate. Make it a bit wider. There. And then these things, I do like them, but they might need to be adjusted a bit more. Actually, this is my integrity field generator. Let's build a slightly bigger generator if I can fit that. No, I don't have the cash for it. Alright, time to sell off some iron, because I do have quite a bit of that. This is the iron mine. Where's the resource depot? Here. Oh, it's 56 clicks out. Okay. In case I'll quickly mine down this thing, because it's a long trip. That's alright, it's just going to take me a while to get there. Although now that I have a better generator, you can see that I'm not really using as much of my energy. So boosting is going to be a lot easier. And that second bar is also filling up. That's the amount of power in the battery. Jeez, this thing is really going to take a longer time to grind down. Sometimes you find these asteroids which look really, really dense. And this is pretty much just one big block here, one big chunk. It's going to give me a gradual amount of iron over time as I keep mining it down. But once I completely have it ground down, you're going to very quickly see that amount of iron on the bottom right hand side jump up. Right about now. There you go. That was 490 from just grinding down that big block. Then it has these sides, which are also a bit more resistant. The chunkier the part, the more they take to grind down. Still, that's almost 5,000 iron by the time that I get done. Iron sells at, what was it, 4,000 I think? So that's 20,000 right there. That's not bad. There are, in this game, various ways that you can make money. You can make money just doing trading, so buying stuff low, selling it high. You can make money fighting. You can make money by completing missions. And the riskier the mission, the more you're going to get paid for it. You can get stuff by smuggling, so let's say trading with more risk. You can run your own factories, although that is more expensive. You can explore, and exploration allows you to find resources. Oh, look at that, the resource depot says we need 24,000 iron. If you can deliver it in the next 30 minutes, we'll pay you handsomely. So I'm going to need a lot more iron in order to complete that objective. Anyway, the game allows you to play it how you want it. Now, I don't think I have that much iron available. In order to get 24,000, we're going to be underway for a longer time. I still don't have a powerful enough generator to keep this thing going for a longer period of time. It is boost mode. So I'm just approaching it with 338 meters per second, which comes down to roughly, I think, about 1,000 kilometers per hour. Alright, moving into dock. Let's use the tractor bay. Oh, slow down, slow down, slow down. There we are. Trade resources. Sell off the iron. Unfortunately, I cannot sell it off right now because it still needs 24,000. So in order to make use of this dock, I'm first going to have to get to 24,000 iron, which is quite a lot. So I'm going to continue doing that, and when I return with the rest of this video, I shall have those 24,000 units of iron. Alright, welcome back. As I am going through my grind of bringing in more and more and more iron, I'm currently at 13,500, I came across this big rock. Now this is a big asteroid, and you can actually claim these for yourself. Even if they're not in your space, even if they're in space of the empire that I'm currently at, which is the Democratic Mnanluof Guild or something. Anyway, I can fly up to these, and I can say interact, claim, and I can either bring in my own mine, which is for the low price of 14 million to about 6 million, depending on what you want to build. But I want to just sell off this asteroid. And I can do that to the Democratic Guild for 84,000. So that immediately gives me a ton more money to work with. And that's going to speed up production quite a bit. Because one of the things that I still need to do is double up on this titanium generator to make sure that I generate a lot more power. And with that, I can now fuse these together as well. And that still leaves me with 85,000. So now it's time to head back over to the equipment dock and actually start buying some upgraded mining lasers. Because the mining lasers that I have are still really quite bad, and make the process of getting to that, what was it, 24,000 iron really slow. Still, I'm not generating nearly enough power, so let's once again go for a upgrade to the titanium generators. There. Make it one big block. There we are. Generating 1.99 gigawatts, required 857,000. So now I should be able to boost her quite a bit longer. You can see that that is draining my energy usage. The faster you want to go, the more you're going to use energy. But at least I'm not immediately draining the battery. And the moment that I release the boost, I'm immediately slowing down. Now earlier I have changed out the reverse thruster that I had. The directional thruster was pointing forwards and backwards. And I have swapped that out for an inertial dampener. Which makes the ship slow down pretty quick. But also took away my ability to reverse. So that's still something I need to add back to the ship. Because that is a really handy ability to have. Just being able to go backwards. Especially when you're close to an asteroid and you're doing fine maneuvering. Alright, let's use the track beam to bring us in. Trade equipment. Now I should be able to buy a better mining turret. And unfortunately, now there are no better mining turrets available. I do have these for 3.2. That is actually quite a bit better than what I have, I believe. By 1.6. 1.7. Okay, it's not as bad, but still, it could be a hell of a lot better. Oh, these are independent mining turrets. Okay. Independent mining turrets can be set up in a way that they automatically fire. So you don't actually have to do a lot of the mining yourself. You can just have these somewhere in your ship, and when your ship flies by something that is an asteroid that can be mined, they'll do so automatically. Unfortunately, you also lose out on about half the firepower of those things. So that's the trade-off. Let's see. Let's go for the... I have double iron mining turrets. This is 3.2, 3.3. I can get 3 of these, though. Or titanium, so I can also start mining naonite. This is 3.3 DPS. So I'll take 2 of those. Adjust the ship. Remove those. And install the double titanium mining turrets. Not necessarily there, just on the nose. Oh, must be placed on a block made of titanium or better. Very well. Let's replace the nose. And replace this bit. And replace that corner. There. Now I have a titanium nose. Okay, so now I have my turrets. Unfortunately, I cannot have more than 2 turrets. 2 unarmed turrets, as they're called. These things don't actually do damage to other ships. With the notable exception of salvaging turrets, which are pretty much eating a ship alive. Or, if it's a damaged ship, try to make the ship completely disappear. What I can do, since I'm docked, is trade equipment and see if they have a turret upgrade available. And they do indeed. They have a turret control system ATS-1 or ATCS-1 available. And this is going to allow me to install 1 additional armed or unarmed turret, or if I install the upgrade permanently, another one. They also have this one, which installs additional 2 slots plus 1 if I install it permanently. I'll just go for this one because it's cheaper. Press P, bring that thing up to one of the system slots and install it permanently. Alright, now let's see if I can still buy... Oh, actually, no, I still have my lasers, of course. Now I can set those iron mining lasers back up. And I'm going to assign those to a specific slot. These are my double titanium mining turrets, and these are the automatic iron mining turrets. So these things auto-fire. And now I still need a couple more miners, because I don't have enough crew. Fortunately, there are some miners here. So let's bring these guys aboard. I'll just take all of them. And now I need a sergeant. And the ship is apparently overpopulated. I need to have more crew space on this ship. So let's double up on the crew compartment here. Make that a bit more fitting. Ooh, I can fit 14 out of 15. They're not quite hot bunking yet, but the ship's getting crowded. Anyway, now I have my double iron lasers automatically, and I have my double titanium turrets automatically. That's the asteroid that I already claimed. Oh, and I still need a sergeant. Normally, a sergeant can also be assigned automatically. I wonder why that's not working. do it manually. Alright, find me a good rock to mine. Unfortunately, I've already devoured quite a lot of the sector, quite a lot of the sector's viable asteroids at this point. Let's just jump to a different sector. I'm on the map now, and this is the whole galaxy, so there is a lot to explore. You see these lines going out to, let's say, southeast. Sorry, this is southeast, southwest, northwest, and southeast. Those are the jump gates. Let's have a look at the southwest gate to Unyielding Doom. That sounds like a very pleasant place to be. Boost that way, and hopefully there's another asteroid belt there that I can mine. I'm not sure if I'm going to still go for that quest that says mine 24,000 iron, because it is really quite a slog in order to just do that. So what I might do instead is just visit other sectors and see if I can find more of those claimable asteroid, these, this kind of stuff. Those sort of bigger, bulkier asteroids, because they go for quite a bit of resources. And those can very quickly allow you to build faster, bigger, better ships. Alright, we paid a bit of credits in order to action. Fortunately, the travel is not that expensive. Alright, we're getting contacted by the adventurer. The adventurer is somebody who's, let's say, a sort of interactive tutorial. He's on the hunt for a new legendary element called Avorion, which happens to be the top tier element that you can mine in this game. According to the legends, it appeared in the center of the galaxy after the event 200 years ago. But at first I have to overcome the Great Barrier, and that's where things might get tricky. So, are you off to an adventure too? Yes. I'm sure we can help each other out. There's anything you like? No, just ask. I don't need anything from him at the moment, but we are definitely going to see him again pretty soon. Now, any asteroids that jump out? Let's just use the map. Anything that sticks out? Here's one. Titanium. That's what I want. That's the one. Alright. Let's boost in that direction. Oh, here's another one. Oh, it's just iron. Anyway, I'll illustrate what these new automated mining lasers do. Because when I get close to this rock, about 700 meters out, they're going to lock on, and they're going to automatically start mining. There you go, you can see them moving. And they automatically start mining. I don't do anything right now, but I can. I can use my own mining lasers as well, and now I'm mining a hell of a lot of iron very quickly. Courtesy of both my automatic mining lasers, as well as the titanium manual lasers that I'm using. So this should speed up the amount of iron gathering. Although I very much doubt that I'll go back to that quest. It's not a very interesting way of making money, and it is just taking forever to get that 24,000. This will speed it up, but still. I want to do other ways of making money. I want to go exploring. But first I'm going to need a bigger ship. Alright, let's go for this titanium one. It's a very small one, very quickly done. There, all done. Now I have 15,000 iron. Here's another big rock. In order to build my ship bigger, I'm going to need, of course, the resources themselves, so iron and or titanium, but I will also be requiring money, because items that you build on your ship require cash. Cash can be had in any sort of different ways, as I have mentioned. It is sometimes the bottleneck, because especially early game, it's not that easy to make money. You have to plan ahead a little bit. And it can take a bit of time before you're able to build a bigger ship, depending on what you find, which is different in every single universe, in every single game that you play. Let's get this titanium mined. getting a decent amount from this rock. I especially like that those automated mining lasers are speeding up these things significantly. Alright, there we are. 780 titanium. I still notice that my generator is a little bit on the weak side. So I'm going to try and just duplicate it and build another one here. It needs to be a little longer. There. Done. Okay, so now I'm generating 2.48 gigawatts and I'm using 1.16. So I have more than twice the power that I need, which will allow me to boost faster around the area. Alright, let's see what is out here further. What I have over here are a couple of a couple of factories and one resource depot. Let's see what the resource depot is going to offer me in order to buy up my iron. They pay 4.2 and I have 16,000, so yes, I will definitely head over there and sell off some of that iron. So they got docking bays on 3 different sides. Let's aim for this side. There's the docking spot. Docked. Alright, trade resources, and I'm gonna trade off 12,000. Thank you very much. That was 50,400 that I gained from that transaction. Alright. What quests do they have available here? Meat factory. They want a delivery of leather. Now they pay about twice what you normally would spend in order to get this trade done. So I would need to get leather for about 3,500 and then sell it for 7,700, which is a really low profit margin. I mean, sure enough, the margin percentage based is quite good, but actually the money making capability is really pretty poor. Are there any other factories here that need something? Yep, fuel factory. They have a resource shortage of 100 oil. Okay. You will be paid double the usual price plus a bonus. This is actually interesting. Where can I get oil? Does the trading post have oil for me? Trade goods. Buy from station. No, it doesn't have oil. Okay. Over here, there was an ore mine, but not an oil factory. Ideally, I want to go back to the sector where I just came from and get a scanner. So we're going to head back to the northeast, back to this sector here. And where's my gate? There's my gate. I want to start finding more of those big asteroids and sell those off for more money. There you go. Now I can boost for really quite long, which is very comfortable because it allows travel around the galaxy to be very much faster. I also have a jump drive. I also have a jump drive which allows me to get from one position to the next pretty damn fast. Oh shit, where did I end up now? Oh, I ended up at the scrapyard. I took the wrong gate. Haha. Lovely. A scrapyard has all sorts of stuff. It has wreckages on them. These wreckages can be just torn to pieces, and they will get you the resources that were used to draw up these ships. So you're basically looking at the space version of a junkyard. Now, not only do you break up the ships for parts, you can also get their weapons, which are sometimes still installed. And when you get those, you can actually make a pretty penny selling those things off to the equipment docks. Unfortunately, I am not equipped with scrapping lasers, so I can't do that. And on top of that, you need a license to buy or to be able to allow scrapping here. And those cost money. Let's see how much they cost here. Scrapyard. If I want to scrap for 60 minutes, it's going to set me back 19,000. Which is not that steep of a price. I think you could pretty easily recoup that, but not with the type of objective just yet. Ooh, that's a really big asteroid. It's only iron, though. Let's use the map. Strategic map, and see if there's any of those big claimable things. Yes. No. Ah, it's a combination. This is probably a really rich asteroid. I'm looking for asteroids with weird shapes. They look a bit like this. Whoops. A bit like that weird blocky thing here. But they'd be perfectly dark. So no shiny spots on them like these things have. I don't see any of those here. Sure enough, there's a fair amount of iron to be mined here, but I don't really want to be spending too much of my time just mining iron. There's also an unknown energy signature here, so let's use the jump drive and investigate. What do we have here? This is a sector that has 1,450 asteroids. There might be something valuable over here. There... No, it's not one of them. Ah. You get a good combination of these things. You sometimes just misanalyze the situation. You go, aha, there's one. And then it turns out it's just your standard mining asteroid. Or a combination of a couple of them. That from a perspective like this makes it look like it's one of those big asteroids that you can sell off. But in fact, it is not. That's also another standard asteroid. There's a lot of iron to be had here, but I don't want to spend the whole day mining iron. No, I'm not really interested in this sector. Alright, since my jump drive is very limited in power, I'm going to just head back and use the jump gates. Those travel gates allow you farther travel than what I can do right now. Okay, I want to head south, no, actually northwest, to Unyielding Serenity 3. Alright, what do we have here? We have an equipment dock here. That's interesting. What do you have? Radar upgrade, that's what I want. I can now deep scan radar, or deep scan, and with the deep scanner, it is expensive, with the deep scanner I'll be able to find stuff in sectors which normally don't light up. So I could find those asteroids that I'm looking for. And I really only need to find one in order to recoup the investment. Because they go for about 80 to, I think I've seen up to 250,000 for one of those big asteroids. You just have to fly around and find them, that's all. Alright, let's come in for docking. And then trade equipment. I want to get the radar upgrade. And ideally I'd also get the mining system. This allows me at a range of 2.9 kilometers to scan asteroids. And with that, see what those asteroids are made up of. And exactly how much there is in one of those asteroids. Right, let's install the radar system. If I install it permanently, I'm going to get 2 more radar range and 2 more deep scan range. But I don't really have the ability to jump that far anyway. See? Unknown hidden mass signature. Those weren't lit up on the map before. Alright, and then install the mining system. That one I do want to install permanently. Now, permanent installation means that you can only remove them when you're near an equipment dock. Which is a bit of a limitation, but it's really not that bad. Prepare to jump. Jump. Alright then, this seems like a really empty sector. There is a container though. Oh, it's one of those big container fields. what you see over there, and I don't really know what their purpose is a sort of real big container field. But I never quite got the point of those things, so I'm not going to mess with those. Instead, let's go for the other unknown hidden mass signature and hope that there's no pirates there. Ooh, that's a big wreckage. So that was worth hiding in here. This wreckage can be scrapped. It looks like an old shipyard of sorts. And if I had scrapping lasers, I would probably start taking chunks out of that. Just to see what it's made up of. I cannot do so with the mining lasers, unfortunately. They don't really do any sort of respectable damage against that. Now let's see what this asteroid has. It has about 3,000 iron. This is courtesy of my mining laser, or my mining system. I can now see what these asteroids have inside of them. Now I won't get all the 3,000 because my effectiveness, my efficiency is about 15%. So I'll be lucky if I get 500 iron out of that. Yeah, there you go, 380. There's another one here. Should be scanned right about now. Or actually no, my range was 4 something, I think. Here we go, 10,000. If you're able to mine everything. This one has, and it doesn't look very suspicious. This is what my mining system is now capable of finding. It has 200,000 iron in it. It doesn't look like it. But if I crack this thing open, I'm going to find a lot of iron hidden on the inside. This is really only possible if you have a mining system. Because then you're going to find these things. Otherwise, they're very hard to detect. See, there it is. Now, mining one of these is going to take forever. So, I just wanted to let you guys see what it is and what it can do. But I have absolutely no intent on mining that stuff. What I'm still looking for is one of those bigger asteroids. So that I can sell that thing off. It looks like this is just some sort of random abandoned shipyard. And nothing else. Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. Unknown energy signature. Let's have a look at that. Again, hoping I'm not going to run into anything that shoots me. What do we have here? A shipyard. And not just a shipyard by the looks of it. There's also an asteroid field there. Shipyard? Uh-huh. Oh, there's the shipyard. Okay, the shipyard needs something. They have a shortage of 40 anti-grav generators for 5.7 million. That's the reward I would get. Yeah, no thanks, I'll pass. That is really expensive. And I don't have anywhere near that kind of money. Oh, look at that. That's what I was looking for. Zip over there and sell that thing off. Now I paid, what was it, 40,000 for that radar upgrade. So I'm hoping that this is going to get me a respectable sum of money. And that with that I can immediately recoup the investment on that radar. Let's try not to slam into this thing. Slow down. Claim. Sell asteroid. 91,000. There you go. Thank you for the cash. That is a very good return on investment. Now with that, I'm going to end the episode here. I hope you enjoy this this format. Let me know what your thoughts are on it. It's meant as a sort of relaxational content that you just have running in the background, as I mentioned at the start of the video. It's the first sort of that type of video that I'm doing. So let me know what your input is. Do you like this? Do you want to see more of it? Do you have a different way that you would like me to do these videos? I'm very much open to suggestions, and I'm very much open to your input. Because you guys are combined a hell of a lot smarter than I am. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you guys very soon for hopefully a bit more of this very, very wonderful, deep game. See you then!